me tell you about a situation that's been weighing on me. I'm a 26-year-old woman, and I absolutely love hosting parties for my family. It started a few years ago when I decided to take charge of Christmas, and ever since then, I've been the go-to party planner for most family gatherings. Whether it's birthdays, Christmas, or other special occasions, it all seems to happen at my house. And to be honest, I enjoy it. At least I used to. Before I got involved, our family events were simple, which was totally fine at the time. We'd have one basic meal, like a barbecue or pizza, and someone would grab a cake from a bakery for dessert. There were no decorations, no themes, just straightforward, casual gatherings where people came, ate, and left. But I've always loved the idea of creating something more festive, especially around Christmas, which is my favorite time of the year. So about 4 years ago, I decided to host Christmas for the first time, and I went all out. I planned an elaborate menu, decorated the house, and even started a secret Santa tradition. I put together some fun games and karaoke sessions for everyone. It was a big hit. My family praised me for everything, and I loved the joy it brought. Over the years, I've refined my cooking and party planning skills, and I take a lot of pride in what I do. Eventually, my family started asking if I could host some of their birthday parties as a gift, and I happily agreed. With only about 9 or 10 people in my immediate family, it wasn't too overwhelming or expensive, and I genuinely enjoyed it. However, things started to take a turn. In the past few parties I've hosted, including last Christmas, my mom's, uncles, aunts, and even my husband's birthdays, I noticed a shift in their attitude, and it wasn't pleasant. For example, I would send proper invitations stating that the party would start at 3:30 p.m., yet they would show up around noon, much earlier than planned. Instead of just hanging out, they'd immediately comment on how I wasn't ready. For my husband's birthday party, they arrived while I was halfway through decorating and started questioning why the food wasn't prepared yet. Mind you, I had told them it was an early dinner, and they showed up without having eaten lunch. They even suggested I skip the decorations and start cooking because, in their words, it was rude to let them be hungry. Under all that pressure, I had to rush through everything, cutting corners on the party I had carefully planned. I had envisioned a beautiful, well-organized event, but instead, I was forced to throw everything together, and some of them left immediately after eating. Only a few people stayed behind to actually enjoy the party. The same pattern repeated itself during other family events. They'd show up too early, criticize me for not being ready, eat, and then leave without sticking around to celebrate. Fast forward to yesterday, I was talking to my mom when she asked what I was planning for Christmas this year. I told her I wasn't planning anything. After all, I had made it clear during the last event that I didn't appreciate their attitude and behavior. I told them I was done hosting if that's how things were going to continue. My mom wasn't happy about that, and we ended up getting into a heated argument. She said I needed to learn how to take a joke, and that I should learn to accept help and accommodate our family. That comment really stung, because in the past, I had tried to accept their help, but every time it backfired. For example, last Christmas, I was making an apple crumble. When someone offered to help, I asked them to peel the apples for me but specified not to cut them, since I like to slice them a certain way. I also mentioned that they should only peel the green apples because I was saving the red ones for a charcuterie board. Instead, they peeled all the apples and cut them into cubes. When I expressed my frustration, they brushed it off, saying it was better their way and called me dramatic for wanting things done a certain way. That's why I stopped asking for help altogether. I thought it would be easier to manage things myself rather than deal with the added stress of having them undermine my efforts. I even prepared drinks and snacks to keep everyone happy while I finished setting up. But now they show up so early that I don't even have time to put those out before they start criticizing me for not being ready. I'm at a breaking point. I've put so much effort into making these gatherings special, and yet it feels like my family just shows up to eat and criticize. It's disheartening because I genuinely love planning these events and creating a fun, welcoming atmosphere for everyone. But if they're going to continue with this entitled and dismissive attitude, I don't see why I should keep doing it. My husband is fully on my side and supports my decision to stop hosting, but after the argument with my mom, I'm starting to wonder, am I overreacting? Am I being too sensitive? Should I just take the joke and adjust to what they want? Or is it okay to put my foot down and stop hosting? Ultimately, I don't think I'm being unreasonable. It's not that I mind the effort or the work that goes into hosting these parties. I actually enjoy that part. What I don't enjoy is feeling unappreciated and pressured to change everything I've planned because they can't respect the time and effort I've put into making the event special. So, am I the one in the wrong here? Should I keep hosting despite their behavior? Or is it fair to say enough is enough?
Definitely not the asshole. As someone who loves hosting, I know it can be expensive, time-consuming, and a lot of work. I used to host every other weekend, but now I only do it a few times a year because my place would be a mess the next day. I let people stay over so they wouldn't drive home drunk. People often ask why I don't host as much anymore, and I just tell them I don't have the time or energy right now. Unfortunately, your family seems to have gotten so used to you hosting that they no longer see it as a favor, but as something they expect. You should stand your ground and only host when you really want to, not because they expect it.
You're not in the wrong. You have a few options. You can stop hosting these parties completely, or you can send people away when they show up too early. The party starts at 3, it's only 12. You can either hang out somewhere else for a bit or help me set up. It seems like they're taking advantage of you. This isn't a joke, and you're not being unreasonable. Your guests are being really rude, and it's okay to let them know that.